think your teacher should learn from you.
Mhm. Yeah, much, ma'am, for giving me such opportunity to introduce myself. My name is Sunidhi Kumari. I am from Jharkhand. As I'm studying class 9, I have 5 members in a family and have 3 siblings, one me and 2 small brothers. My hobby is to learn English language and to learn something new. That's all about me, ma'am.
Wonderful, wonderfully introduce yourself. And now I would like me to introduce myself. So,
Yes,
as you know, my name is Yashoda, and currently I'm connecting to you from Koshambi, Uttar Pradesh. And talking about my qualifications, so I have done my schooling from Punjab board, and nowadays I'm a homemaker and I'm a part-time YouTuber, and I have just recently started my teaching journey. So nowadays I'm English language teacher as well. And talk about my hobbies, so I love listening to spiritual content and learning anything, immersing myself into learning anything, something or the other
yes,
thing.
ma'am.
That's about me.
Yes, ma'am, that's very fantastic. And do you know that I always used to watch your videos and used to learn everything from you because you teach very well.
Actually, I can't say I teach really very well, but I would say I always try my level best to give my
Yes,
viewers
ma'am.
to my contents.
Ma'am, I want to ask one question to you, like when you started your YouTube journey. So, what do you have think that you will be reached like here?
No, I never ever thought about after starting my channel within 1 or 2 year I will grow that much. But yeah, there was one thing I was so passionate for becoming a YouTuber, as well as later on I also got that fascination towards English language. So I totally inclined towards English language. Then I also wanted to learn this language, but there was one problem. Living in a village, it was totally impossible for me to learn. Then I made YouTube my teacher. And from YouTube, I learned my English language, this language, as well as how to work on YouTube. All those things I learned only from YouTube. There was no one to teach me, there was no one to guide me. I learned from my mistakes, I can say.
Yes, ma'am, that's very fantastic. So, ma'am, I want to ask one more question. That what you want to give to suggestion to those people who want to learn English language?
Actually, I would like to give only one suggestion. If you really want to learn something, then you should try to enjoy that process of learning. Because sometimes we do something deliberately, like it gives us pain. We think like that, if I am working on this journey, if I have to come out from my comfortable zone, then I have to suffer that pain. There's no doubt, with no pain no gain. But if you are enjoying that pain, if you are enjoying that process of learning, then it will become really very easy for you to be on this journey. And then you will, because there's one thing also that we must have in our personality, that is patience.
Yes, ma'am.
No. 1 minute. ले लो ले लो ना इधर से. And that thing I always have. Still, sometimes I used to think like that, I'm not improving, I'm not getting improved. But eventually, when I compare myself from my past version of myself, then I can see a drastic changes. So this thing we should always have in ourselves, instead of comparing ourselves with others. If you want to compare, then you should compare yourself to with the past version of you. And you should always be self motivated person. For your motivation, don't depend on others. I'm a kind of person, I when I got my first time, when I got some inspiration from Sandeep Maheshwari, still the time I'm always self motivated kind of person. Sometimes I felt low, there's no doubt. I'm a human being, I'm not a robot. So I also be emotional. But after some time, because I'm a kind of person who wants to be alone, I want only my company, not anyone's company. So through this, I, just by being alone, I figure it out how much strength I'm having in myself. So all these things we have to try to do in our life to groom ourselves, to groom our personality, to elevate our level of living.
Yes, ma'am, you are absolutely right, ma'am. I agree with your point. And ma'am, we can also see like nowadays the English is so much eager to learn for everybody. So what do you think about it? That why the people they are so much curious to learn English language nowadays?
I didn't get you. Your voice was breaking up. Could you please repeat?
Ma'am, I want to ask one question that nowadays English is become a common language for everybody, and they are also so much curious to learn English language. So what do you think about it?
I didn't get your
Hello.
question.
Ma'am, what do you think about the English language? That why it has become a common language for everybody and why they are learning English language so much?
Why?
Yes, ma'am.
I think it's our need. If you are in this generation now, if you are in this era, then English is really very crucial language for all of us to survive. If you want to go out of this country, okay, if you want to go other states, even in India, then just to survive, just to manage everything, you should learn this language. Apart from that, um, if you want to do your business, if you want to grow your business, as well as if you want to work professionally, then only this language will help you because
Yes, ma'am.
as we already know that English is a language which is spoken all over the world. So there is no doubt we should learn this language. We should use this language. And using this language, it doesn't mean that you should never have that proud about your language. We should proud our language. We should speak our language as well as we should make that language our like helping hand like to grow ourselves.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, you're right that English is very important to us because there is so much reason behind it to learn. If we also want to connect to the peoples, then it is very important to us to learn English language
Right.
because they will know their native language and we are also knowing native language. So if we want to connect to the peoples globally, so that's why English is a common language only through which we can easily connect to the peoples. And we can also see like that at the international levels, the presentation or the interview they are given through the English language only. So as I think that in everywhere we find English language nowadays. So that's why English is very, very important.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. Whatever you said, I totally agree with you that wherever you go, you can find only English language. Even if you go to restaurants and any hotels, you will have to have that command over this language so that you can understand.
Yes, ma'am, you're absolutely right. That if you also want to take a higher job also, then English is only the things through which we can easily learn.
Yeah. So I would like to know from you, how long have you been learning this language? And you are really very fluent in this language. There's no doubt.
Ma'am, I was talking about my English journey. I've been started when I was in class 6 or 7. From that time only, I started to learn English language because I just think that if I will learn the English language from now, I will not gonna to face a lots of difficulties in my future life. So that's why I just think that I should learn from now only. I was not knowing anything about the English language, even though I was not knowing to form a sentence also at that time when I started to learn. So that's why my parents and my teacher told me that if you know English language, then you will not going to face a lots of difficulties. So that's why I just go through on the grammar part firstly because I was not knowing anything. As you can also say that the grammar is the backbone of the English language. So I just learned the basic part of the grammar that where we have to use the verb, appropriate sentences, like this type of things I was learning. And I was also doing the activity at my home that how can give my introduction, how can give my daily routine at my home. I was also practicing with the co-learner at the time, but I was not able to speak. I was thinking in my mind that nothing the sentences were coming in my mind that what I have to speak in front of any people, and I was fearing that like you the people they are speaking very well English language, I'm not able to speak very well English language. So I was demotivated by those things and I just left all those things. And before 8 to 9 months I joined to the Skype application and doing practice here because now I've understood the importance of the English language. It is very, very important. And like for the higher study also, it will be beneficial for me if I will learn English language from now only. So that's why like this my journey is ended, ma'am. I'm doing practice here.
Really, really. I think your pace of speaking is too fast as compared to me. Because I like speaking slow, whether it's Hindi or English. But I think you're speaking quite fast, and sometimes it becomes difficult for others to understand. So you should. It doesn't mean that you are not good at all. You are really good. But one thing you should keep in your mind whenever you are trying to speak with anyone, then your space should be medium, not too fast, not too slow.
Yes, ma'am.
It's
Yes, I
something I
have
would like
got.
to suggest
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Because even
Yes,
if
ma'am. I have got it.
when you go to give your interview, then your words, each and every word should be understandable. Your each and every
Yes,
sentence.
ma'am.
That's why you should try to speak quite slow. Little
Yes,
bit.
ma'am. Sure, sure. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am. So,
Okay,
ma'am,
so
I also want to.
yeah.
Yes, ma'am. So, I want to ask one question that how do you practice English language?
Actually, in my case, I think somehow it happened with me. I was not so because it was not my why. It was not my reason to learn this language. But my why was there only one that I wanted to help my husband. So from that time it became my need to learn this language. Then initially I didn't focus on too much on grammar. In my school days I got about awareness about tenses. So from there, I got to know about tenses. And then when I started my journey after 12 years, okay, then I focused only on doing listening practice. I used to do listening practice throughout the day, means 4 and 5 hours hardly. And then later on, I started speaking all the things, whatever content I used to watch, I used to speak all those things. Like any story, if I watch, then I used to speak using my own ways. And then this became my habit. And there was only one thing, though I was not able to speak correct sentences, but there was only one thing, that was my confidence. Though I was making grammatical mistakes, but while speaking, I was so confident that I am speaking the correct sentences. And still, this thing I always follow. I always consider myself that I'm the best. And this thing has helped me. Then after 6 months, then I came to know about some apps like Ace Fluency, Hybro, these type of apps. Then I started practicing with the strangers through audio calls. And then later on, I got to know about Skype. Then I started having conversation. But being a wife, being a homemaker, living in a village, it becomes really hard for me to manage my time. But somehow I means off and on, I always try to have conversation. I don't do regularly. And
Yes,
even
ma'am. That's very
I
fantastic.
have just finished my half cooking. Means half chapatis are still there to make. After means cooking chapatis for my husband, I just came here. I said I have to take this session, then I will cook.
Sorry, ma'am, for disturbing you. Ma'am, you should say it earlier that I am busy. I will talk to you later. You should say, ma'am. You have come in the middle of.
Actually, I can't make excuses. I can't postpone my work because after that I have next work again
Yes, ma'am.
at
You are absolutely right.
each Sunday. So at 12 p.m. around, one of my student, she will have a conversation with me. So that's why I can't postpone.
Yes, ma'am. You are absolutely right. So, ma'am, I want to ask one more question to you. That what do you think about for conversation for doing practice English language? What do you think that video call is good or the audio call is good for practicing English language? What is the more comfortable things?
I think initially, if you're a beginner, then audio call is good. There's no doubt. But when you want to enhance your boost your confidence level, when you want to especially face that fear of facing the strangers, then this video calls will be definitely beneficial for you. Because initially I started as if I talk about my journey, so I started from audio calls, then I went to video calls. But some people, when it comes to have audio session, then they have really very good in a good way. But when it comes to have a video call, then always they feel hesitated, they always have lots of fear in themselves. But I think it's wrong. If you just consider other person that he's just like your partner, he's not a stranger person with you, just like your one of your relative, one of your family members.
Yes, ma'am, you're absolutely right. That I've also, when I started to speak English language in the video call, then I was fearing a lot. I was nothing knowing about the English language. Even though I was crying at that time that what I have to speak English language.
Actually, and this is this thing is there in ourselves. We always have lots of fear about. I means everyone, most of the person in this country, not even in this country, but even in this world, we always underestimate ourselves. It's not the others. It's not only the others who always think about you that you are nothing, but it's only we. I am the one who always underestimate myself, who always have that inferiority complex inside me that I won't be able to do this thing. There's no doubt I have lots of strength to do that thing. But I am the only one that I always have negative thoughts. Just like if I want to, if I'm working on for any competitive exams, then I always think throughout the processing, throughout the journey of learning, okay, or while doing all the practices, I keep thinking only one thing. What if I don't get good marks or good rank in my this? What will happen? So this negativity always becomes a hurdle in order to whatever you want to achieve. So
Yes,
if
ma'am, you are right, ma'am.
you want to achieve anything in your life, if you want to accomplish your goal, then you should have faith in yourself. Your belief system, it really matters.
Yes, ma'am, you are absolutely right. I agree with the point that as a student also it is very important to us that we should not lose our hope. Whatever we have in our mind that I have to do, I have to achieve my success, then we have to go through on that. And for that, we have to sacrifices a lot for
Yes, yes.
achieving our success.
Without facing your fear, you will not overcome your fear. If you want to overcome your mistakes, then first allow yourself to make some mistakes. Then later on, you can work on your mistake. Then your that mistakes will be overcome.
Yes,
Otherwise, if
ma'am, you're right.
fair, I will make. What if I make mistakes? What if I do a mistake? Then there's no doubt. We are human beings. We are not robots. We will be making mistakes. But along with that, we will be learning from these mistakes. So never
Yes,
ever
ma'am, you're right.
irritated and don't stop yourself from doing anything.
Yes, ma'am, you're right. Like when I was also started to speak English language, like I was doing the video call conversation through which I was practicing, and I was doing lots of mistakes in the grammatical parts. And after the recording session, I was saving the video and just seeing that what mistake I have done. So like this, I was doing the correction.
Okay, so I want to know about your speed. How did you get that much fast speed while speaking? Or is it your own pace of speaking? In even in your mother tongue, you speak in this way.
Ma'am, as I think that I'm practicing since 8 to 9 months. So that's why I just think that I'm speaking like this only, ma'am.
It's, even in when it comes to speaking your own mother tongue, you speak in with this pace.
Yes, ma'am, I used to speak like this.
I think
So, ma'am,
this is
I
called
just,
fluency. This is called fluency. You already got that fluency, and even while speaking, you don't make lots of mistakes. So it's really very great thing. You have really done a commendable job, and I would like to appreciate you for this
ma'am,
work.
I am grateful to you that I have talked to you because yeah, I'm so much curious, ma'am. What I can say, I have no words in my mind that what I have to say.
Thank you, thank you. It's my pleasure that you are appreciating my work. Actually, I didn't get lots of opportunity in my childhood days, and then I got married, and then I had a normal life, not a normal life like a life of a villager. But yeah, later on, I when I got some problems in my life, then these problems played a role of like problems are like blessings in disguise. There's no problem, there's no doubt problems were there, problems, but problems played a role just to elevate my level of, just to figure it out what capacity I have inside me. And this thing played a really very great role, crucial role, to enhance my level, to elevate my level of living. Even earlier I was kind of an introvert person. I never ever feel like talking to anyone, but now it has become my need to talk to others, because if I will not do practice, then I will not be improving. That's
Yes, ma'am,
why.
you are absolutely right, ma'am.
Yeah. So yeah, tell me something about you. What is your future goal? What would you
Ma'am,
like to?
talking about my future, yeah. So, ma'am, I want to do the civil services in my future life because I wanted to help to the society and wanted to help to the peoples by doing the civil services.
Okay, and what about your parents? What do they do?
Ma'am, my father is a serviceman and my mother is a homemaker.
Okay. So your parents, is there any environment at your home to practice this language?
Ma'am, I used to practice with my brother at my home, and rather than I don't get much time to practice at my home, so that's why I don't practice. And I just think that I get the half an hour or 1 hour through which I used to practice in the Scapi application.
So is he your elder brother or younger brother?
Ma'am, it is my younger brother.
Okay. So do you have fights with him?
Yes, ma'am. Sometimes we used to fight each other.
By the way, how many siblings do you have?
Ma'am, I have three siblings, one me and two small brothers.
Both of them, they are younger than you.
Yes, ma'am.
Means
I
you
am the
always
elder.
means being the eldest one, you always take advantage of them.
No, ma'am, it is not like that. They also take advantage from me. Like I have also to teach to them, and so many things we are doing.
So do they listen? Do they listen to you?
And sometimes they didn't listen to. I just go to the parents and just tell that they are not listening me. And parents they used to wait.
Okay, okay, that's so lovely. Having siblings in your life, it's a kind of a blessing, and you're so blessed that you are having two brothers. Okay, so
Yes,
just tell
ma'am.
me about like so far, how many sessions did you have?
Ma'am, I cannot count that how much session I have been done. Like,
How many sessions do you take each and every day?
ma'am, I used to take 2 sessions daily.
Session. So it means it's
Yes,
been
ma'am.
more than 8 or 9 months. So yeah, of course, it's more maybe around 500 sessions.
Yes, ma'am. It may be.
And that's fine, huh? Because the more you practice, the better you will become. You have been really very passionate about this language, and still you are on the journey of improving, becoming advanced speaker. So still, means only just by speaking to co-learners is helping you. There's no doubt.
Yes, when practice is very, very necessary, because I have also seen the example in myself that when my examination was going on, before the examination, I was practicing English language in the Skype application. And when my examination was going on, at that time, I just left to practice because I was also focused on my studies. So after completing my examination, I again started to practice English language. At the time, I was not speaking that much that I was speaking earlier. So as a thing at that time, only that practice on the regular basis is very, very important.
Yes, yes. Consistency is really very, very important. So I would like to know from you, do you study in a convent school or in a Hindi medium school?
Ma'am, I used to study in the English medium school.
Okay, you used to study.
No, ma'am. And now I'm studying in English medium school.
Okay, okay. Since your childhood?
Yeah, yes, ma'am. Since my childhood.
In your school, is it compulsory for the students to speak this language?
No, ma'am. It is not compulsory for everybody that they have to speak English language, because most of the students they are not knowing to speak English language. So that's why it is not compulsory.
About teachers, do they prefer to speak this language or they speak just like Hindi medium schools? They do the same thing.
Yes, ma'am. It is like that only. Sometimes they used to also and they are using English language for teaching, and they are speaking their native language only.
Yeah, I think your teacher should learn from you.
Mhm. Yes,
Like,
ma'am.
if you are not having that environment in your school, then what is the benefit of studying in an English medium school? You only have subjects. Means English is as a
Yes, ma'am.
subject, but if
Yes, ma'am.
you use it in personally in your life, then definitely you should speak this language. Otherwise, it will be totally useless for you. Means that's why nowadays there are so many people who have completed their B.Ed, masters. Still, they are struggling a lot when it comes to learning this
Yes,
language.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So that's why the people they are learning through the social media. They are practicing English language through the social media, and they are getting so many ideas from the social media. Because in the schools, what they are teaching? They are completing their syllabus only.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.